Hello, everybody. My name is Natasha, and I am part of the Friedmarcraft team here with our offices in Hartford and Cheshire. And today, we're really excited to talk to you about keeping kids engaged, healthy, active, and just surviving this from parent to parent. We work with a lot of families, and we have a lot of parents in our firm, and we're really excited to chat with you, get on the level of, what are each other's, life hacks, what are we experiencing with the kids right now, and just have an open conversation, because I think it's fair to say that nobody sees everything that everybody's doing to survive and thrive right now. So the more we share, the better it is for every one of us. At the end of this, I will be circulating. You'll receive an email, or if you're following us on our Facebook page, the resources will be there too, with links to resources that we talk about, so that you can check it out for yourself. And we'll keep sharing. If when you see this video, if you have something popped to mind that would be helpful to share that we didn't hit, please comment, respond, share, and keep the conversation going. So this conversation right now is particularly involving parents who have the bigger kids, so middle school through seniors in high school. And to open up with our first topic, we are talking about number one, kids always have the most fun when they are engaging and being active with their parents. There's almost nothing they like better than that. So with Seth, Selena, and Melissa on the call, we're going to first say how old the kids are, and if they have something to share in this particular topic, go for it. So first one, again, what are we doing with the kids? Is it something different, or is it something that I love our team shared while we were prepping for this call? We just have more time to be together. It's a beautiful thing. And Seth, could you elaborate on that for us?
Sure. Yeah. Well, when we were talking about it, I had thought about it, but then I was really struck at how significantly this time has impacted the quality of my time together with my kids. So I have two kids, 12 and 13, about to be basically 14. So they're kind of right in that middle school, about to be high school age. It's kind of a tricky time under the best of circumstances. But the notion of them having the best time when they're with their parents is challenged at this age, but it really has become true, and it's really kind of noticeable for me. We're doing a lot of the things that I think a lot of people are doing. We always have a puzzle on the table. I think I saw a story about some puzzle company in the Midwest that's completely overrun and can't keep up with the demand. But so we've been doing the puzzles, which has been great, and doing a lot more of the activities that we kind of always did. My son and I like to fish together a lot. Never really got the chance to do it as much as we'd like to. We've been able to sneak away and get a couple hours in fishing in the evenings, and it's really been a much better opportunity to spend that time together. And I've actually noticed the change in his interaction with me because of that. He's sort of just kind of seeking me out a lot more to kind of hang out. We also kind of come up with some ways of being, outside of our house, but still at our home. Like we did a campfire cookout for dinner last night. And so that was a way we were obviously, respecting the social distancing, we're staying home, but we were able to be outside, and we were able to cook food a little differently and kind of have a campfire and be sitting with each other. So that's been really something else we've been doing. And there's all the other stuff I hear anecdotally from people too, the baking. Everybody's baking tremendously now. My son starts making brownies. He's never baked anything in his life. So there's a lot of that's been happening, and it's been really great. And those kind of have been some beacons of light in the midst of kind of what a lot of darkness going around.
Yeah. And I think Melissa was also sharing a fun story about baking with her kids too.
Yeah, I have an 11-year-old and a 17-year-old, and my 11-year-old and I have been baking, which is not something that we normally have done in the past. We're doing a starter for sourdough, which she's very excited about. And it's just embracing the opportunity of things, the time that we didn't have before that we do have now, and using it to the best of our abilities. And who knows where it will lead her. Maybe she'll be a baker one day.
I think Selena had a cool activity that she mentioned, which my little guys are not at card playing age yet, but I look forward to this someday.
Yeah, so my oldest son is 11. His brother is 5. So he is really always interested in things that I'm doing, of course. And I've been playing a lot of cards lately. So I taught him how to play Rummy. And he loves it, and we can sit and play, and he, it took him a little bit of time to get the hang of it, but now he really loves doing that. He also really loves to play chess, so we've been doing that. He kind of taught me how to play, and has beaten me every time, but hopefully I'll get a little bit better at that. He always tends to be really good at the things that he learns how to do. So yeah, it's really fun to teach them something new and incorporate them into things that you like to do. And then they just love it. So
cool. So in that same thread of like learning new things and doing new things together, we talked on our previous segment with parents at our firm who have smaller children ages 0 through 5. And this is a time that those kids are really kind of growing into independence, like getting dressed, brushing their own teeth, making their own lunches and things like that right now, which is freeing up times for parents and caregivers. A lot of the kids in this group have a lot of independence already, but we are seeing some new ways that they are growing, gaining confidence, self-esteem, and self-reliance, which is a win for parents and the kids, of course. Melissa, you were talking about that earlier, especially in regards to time management and self-discipline for your daughter.
Yeah, Lila, she's in 5th grade, and normally, you're in school, you got teachers, you go from class to class, and now she has to be independent with her learning and take that responsibility to make sure that she's getting her work done and giving it into the teachers and logging in and understanding that there is still structure, and the teachers have been great. The distance learning is great. But she does have to take responsibility a lot more because there's not somebody standing directly in front of her. And I've seen her self-esteem and her independence grow tremendously over this.
Right. And Selena, you were talking about staying connected, helping your kids stay connected with each other, with their classes, and taking the opportunities to be on their classes live rather than watching one of the recordings.
Yeah, so my son is in 5th grade as well, and his teacher changed up the distance learning program. It was really more independent, do this work by the state and just hand it in. And she last week started doing a read aloud every day at 11:30. And so even though it's posted to YouTube after she does it, in case you're not able to be there, I talked to him about the importance of being there live and being on the video with his classmates and his teacher live, and being able to communicate with them and ask questions live and really be present and not distracted by other things, and not just saying, I'll watch a YouTube video later, I'll do it later. It's really important to be there, be present, be active, just like you would if you were in the classroom.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're all agreeing that like social distancing is a thing. We're obviously not getting together as much as we used to, and parents all over the world are appreciating Zoom calls with groups of friends and connecting in whatever way they can. So you have to know that this is good for the kids too, and they just need some healthy encouragement. What I loved about our next topic on today's segment, which has to do with kind of screen time success, is that people are really getting innovative with what can be done virtually to keep people engaged and keep that human need for connection going. Seth, can you talk about what you've seen?
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, I have some anecdotal stuff and also some stuff that my kids are doing. Um, Before that, though, you just mentioned, the Zoom calls, connecting with everybody. It's been great. We've been doing it with family. We've been doing it with friends. And pretty universally, at some point in every call, somebody says, I can't believe we haven't done this sooner. And, that every time it gives me pause. And I think it's worth saying again that it's really true that in the midst of this, we have there's a kind of ever-present reminder of how important it is to take time to connect, to take time to reach out, to do just that. In other words, this is one of maybe the positive lessons is this is an opportunity to really take stock of those connections and nurturing those relationships and taking that pause to make sure, even if it's by the Zoom call, that you're able to do that, because it really something is tremendously fulfilling about it. As to my kids, screen time is a tricky thing for kids, 12 and 14. We should have that gatekeeping function and trying to manage it, and there's all of the rules. But as noted, during this time, that's kind of how everybody gets to be connected to the world, and I want to do that for them. I want to be able to have them connect with their friends and connect with their family, and so I don't want to limit it. So that has become trickier. One of the ways we've been trying to work with that is to as to like games and things like that. We've tried to find things that we can all do together. So my son has a Switch, and so we'll do some sort of Mario Party or something like that. I think Melissa mentioned that they do Dance Dance Revolution. It's a little more active. I mean, those are the types of things that we try to focus on. I can also I know that there's a lot of virtual opportunity for the activities that a lot of kids engage in. My neighbor's child does karate and dance, and all of her classes are now at the same time, but they're just virtual. So there's a lot of opportunity for that, even if your kids aren't involved with it, that specifically right now. It's an opportunity to search those out. There's probably opportunities just kind of waiting, and I'm sure you can find those. But so the screen time issue is kind of an issue, but it's also been an opportunity for us to come together some more. And so I've really, really enjoyed that as well. And I'm getting pretty good at Mario Party too, which is an unintended benefit.
Yeah, we'll have to have maybe a firm-wide Dance Dance Revolution.
That's right. That would be a video worth circulating.
That'd be great. So number 4, hacks, life hacks, meal hacks, any hacks. We, particularly with the older age group, they have expectations and things that they knew about that were in the works that we're having to deal with, like that level of disappointment that leaves us with an opportunity to be creative and how to create hope. And I like to use the word hack, but like create some structure and things to look forward to that are really saving the day for parents and for kids. Seth, can you talk to us about that?
So some of what one of the things that I've really noticed, and I think we've all experienced, unfortunately, is the disappointment that has come with the things being canceled. For my kids, for example, it's a class trip that somebody's been looking really forward to. Next week was spring break. We had plans. That's been tough. It's tough to understand that, particularly for kids who have that excitement around those things, and for frankly parents too. I know we were all looking to it. Rather than just kind of have to accept the disappointments, we kind of have tried to reframe that, and we've sat down a couple times and tried to come up with ideas for what to do when we can do things again, and how do we make up for it. So there was going to be a class trip to Montreal, so we talked about how do we make it so that we get to Montreal somehow, and what would that look like, and where would we stay, and let's look up Montreal and see what's going on in Montreal, and if we were to go now, check out these places, where would you want to go, what museums would we want to see, what boat adventure would we want to go on. So it's been a way to reframe the disappointment as an opportunity to be engaged in and to create a future event to look forward to. So that's really kind of where we've been kind of doing that.
It's really cool. Really cool. I also loved any hacks on keeping traditions alive during social distancing. And I'm really excited for Selena to share what her family is doing for Easter.
Yeah, so I did share that Easter is my holiday. So disappointment there, just not having it be the same as it usually is. My family usually gets together and we do everything at my parents' house up in Massachusetts, and we see family that we don't generally get to see normally. So obviously we can't do that this year. So I have done things to keep doing those same traditions with my kids. We're going to do an Easter egg hunt here. But one of the things that my family does on most holidays is we do different games, one of them being this drawing game that we love to do where we print out for Easter. It would be, you know, a blank Easter egg that everybody would take one and color it, draw in it, design it however they want, and then we hang them all up. And everybody guesses who drew which one. So my sister and I were talking, and we wanted to still do that, but do it a little bit virtually. So everybody's going to do one and submit it to one person in the family, and they'll put them all out through Messenger so we can all see them, and we can still do the guessing and still all stay in touch, and probably do some kind of video conferencing together. Still make Easter dinner and make some new traditions and stick with the old ones.
Yeah, that reminds me. My daughter did that. We have a close friend, her close friend, or their family are close friends. It was a birthday, and she was really upset. She was going to be missing the birthday. So she put together this wonderful little box of photos and decorated it. And we dropped it off on their porch and rang the doorbell, and then rolled up in our car, kind of out from the side, singing "Happy Birthday" to her from the street. And it was great. And I know a lot of towns teachers have been doing the car parades of, those are ways of kind of keeping that excitement and keeping that connectivity still being separated. So that's something that was really great too. That just reminded me of that.
Yeah, and it's fun to, something else to do. Decorating the car, getting the streamers, making signs. Like, that's something that kids of any age really can get behind, right? And Melissa had a really fun share of a new tradition that her kids are doing with the mail.
Oh, my youngest daughter, her cousin and her are corresponding, writing letters, which isn't something that kids, and I even think adults these days, don't really do anymore. So she's just been really excited about getting the mail and corresponding that way. It just has given her something to look forward to that's different. But she just is really enjoying it, and it's been great for her to keep that connection through a different format instead of just texting on their phone. Writing letters is a lost art. So it's been really cool for her.
It's something that connects us, like, on a community level too, whether it's your friend, a family member, or just someone else who needs their day to get a little bit brighter. Sending a letter or sending a drawing in the mail, whatever you want to send, is special, and it makes you feel good for doing it. So it's a win for everyone. So our last topic has to do with end of the year expectations, these rites of passage that so many of the big kids experience as they're moving on to like big things. And particularly, I know Melissa's able to speak to this one from the heart as she has a senior.
Yeah, so my oldest, who's 17, soon to be 18, has a prom and her graduation and just all these milestones that, as every individual out there knows, it's you look forward to it your whole entire little life up until this point. So the one thing we've been doing is just keeping the conversation open. Parents in the community have discussed with not using the word cancel, we use the word postpone, and knowing that we are going to make this happen for them. We just are not sure exactly what it's going to look like, but we're very focused on coming up with a different opportunity where it wasn't going to be at this place, it's going to be somewhere else, but coming together as a community to make sure that we can still put this together for the kids, for their prom and for their graduation. So all the hard work that they've done, this end goal is still obtainable, just in a different way.
I loved, before the call, Melissa shared that her family has been doing everything they can to be very open and communicative, and just making sure all the feelings are out there so that they can stay close as a family and the kids can feel heard. Because parents are experiencing their own level of disappointment.
Absolutely. And we all got to graduate. We all had the proms, those things that we looked forward to, and we for the kids this village, and this one part of it just seems like it's just been the rug's been ripped out from underneath them, and letting them talk about it and have a conversation to express their feelings, I feel as a parent, is very important, because I don't want her to keep anything inside, because it is frustrating. It's frustrating for the kids, and I want them to be able to be heard, and that we do hear them, and that we just don't push it to the side. This is real life that's happening, and it's real disappointment for them. So,
and for anybody who wants more information, if you're listening and watching today, on how to be strong for your kids and how to keep your own head on straight during those conversations with your children, please check our library. We have a video with our licensed married, adult, and family therapist, Laura Renfro, who walked us through just a really healthy way to keep communications open, and again, to be strong there for your kids and for yourself. So please check that video out if you'd like some more there. We also have our website, freedmarcroft.com, full of information. We have a special COVID resources page there that you can access all of the videos that we've produced for you all. And from that same page, you can also book a complimentary consultation and get more information about how to navigate the very acute and very important, unique circumstances that you are all in right now. We're here to help. Our number is 860-560-8160. And thanks for tuning in with us today. Thanks, everybody.